Welcome back. It is a gorgeous morning this morning. The lighting, I think, is particularly good. You can see it in the reflection of the window. It is stunning. And I am so glad to be back. Last week, I really needed that pause. I have been dealing with some deep fatigue and exhaustion that I'm really not sure what it's from. It's kind of a strange feeling. And I was also kind of a little annoyed because I feel like in the last year, even more recently than that, but definitely the last year, I had made some major changes in my life. I was living a bit out of alignment. There were some things that needed to change, and I did it. Let go of a number of people in my life where it just, wasn't it anymore. Some things were happening and just needed to go our separate ways, and it was a good thing for everyone involved. I stopped doing the things that were draining me. I started working out. I just did all these things, and I was like, why am I feeling this exhaustion if I've done what I thought I was supposed to do? If I started the show, something that really excites me, something that I love, why is it that I'm too exhausted to even do that? What is this about? And I still don't really know. I have some ideas, so I'm trying some things out and I'll keep you posted. But it made me think about this healing journey, which is really just the cycle of life. We're always healing. It never really ends. But at times, it's easy to think that it does. I remember when I had my first, let's just call it like awakening. I think it was back in 2017. I had this epiphany moment. This came in my year-long meditation thing. I felt like, oh my gosh, I see the magic and the beauty in the world around me. Oh, it's so miraculous. Nothing could ever piss me off again. No one's ever going to get on my nerves again. I'm never going to feel lost again because I know I have this connection with God and with the divine and everything in this world. And I was on such a high. Not from drugs, just literally life, having this feeling of connection with God and with myself and really feeling like I was connected with my soul, and everything just felt amazing. My body was amazing. I looked amazing. I felt amazing. Just everything, the light that I was feeling inside of me was just radiating out. And I truly never thought that I would feel sadness, anger, annoyance ever again, because it was that good. And it lasted a really long time, like a year. But then, we are human. Life happened. And the kind of annoyance and the sadness started to creep in. And I was like, what the heck? What is this? And I was like, okay, maybe I'm just having this wave of whatever because I need to remember what it's like but this is like a superiority thing that I had for a minute. Maybe I need to remember what other humans are feeling so that I can relate more to them. And I was like, looking back, I'm like, oh my God, you're so obnoxious. But it was tough. It was tough. Once you feel that epitome of a high and connection and love, unconditional love, connection with yourself, when the spiral eventually comes back around and you feel the darkness again, or you realize mistakes that you'd made that you hadn't faced before, it sucks. It sucks to not be able to access that feeling with the consistency that you used to. And maybe you've been through this. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've never had this. Maybe you only had glimpses of the lightness, but it just feels like a lot of darkness. So how do we get out of that phases? How do we reconnect with the light again? Because this life is a spiral. It is a journey. We are going to be repeating cycles over and over and over again, just like this exhaustion that I've been feeling right now. What is it? I don't know, but it's here. So I'm giving myself grace. I'm taking the pauses when I need to take pauses. I'm taking a look at myself like, okay, are there other habits that I'm doing? Or does my body just need a break? Just need to rest from all the massive changes that have happened recently. Maybe my body and my mind just need a minute to calibrate. But it got me thinking about, the different stages of healing that we go through, or the different phases of life that we go through. And one of the biggest ones, one of the most profound ones, is forgiveness. Asking for forgiveness. Maybe it's from yourself, maybe it's from other people. But that process really starts with being honest with ourselves about who we've been and what we've done in our life. Because after all, we are human. We are going to make mistakes. We're going to continue to make mistakes. No matter what religion you claim, no matter how often you meditate, no matter how often you pray, no matter what you do, you are going to make mistakes. And there are going to be times when you hurt people. And there will be time to make amends, if we're going to use a phrase that probably most of us know from the 12-step program. I've never been through it, but I think that phase in the program sounds so powerful. And I know that when I've done this for myself, it's been huge. And we have to start by looking at the things that we've shoved in the closet, those things that we've done that we've been too afraid to look at. I know for me at times, when I've done things that I've been embarrassed by, or maybe were not in alignment with who I was, maybe I hurt someone unintentionally, but regardless, I did something that hurt someone or that offended someone. And I was like, oh, I tried to just like explain it away, and I would shove it in this closet. I'd be like, oh, it was just like that one time, and I was in a weird mood, and I can forget about it. They're going to forget about it too. They know that that's not who I am. So let's just like leave it in the closet and not really talk about it, because I'm too scared to talk about it. And I don't want to actually admit to them that like, I'm a flawed person and I'm sorry. That was too scary. And it can be scary to apologize sometimes, even if you don't do something on purpose. But there is so much power in liberating ourselves from everything that we have hiding in that closet, from all the moments of things that we've done that we're ashamed of or that we're embarrassed by, of maybe we just said something really quick in response without even really realizing what was coming out of our mouth, and we realized, oh, that was a bit rude, or that was hurtful. And instead of calling it out, we just let that moment go by and we never talk about it again. But maybe there's that little bit of guilt or shame inside of you. You still think about it sometimes. And so unpacking that closet, really getting radically honest with ourselves about how we've treated other people, the things that we've done in our life. Because if we really want to change our life, if we really want to live in integrity, if we want our life to be blooming and beautiful, we can't be carrying baggage with us. And the baggage of our own actions are quite heavy, because we know they're there. They're in the back of our mind. They're in our subconscious. So let's clear them out, because there may be people in our life who are waiting for us to take responsibility and accountability for those things. And we can think about in our own life when people have wronged us, there are some things that I know for sure. I'm like, yeah, it'd be great if they would acknowledge that, if they would apologize for that. But there are so many times when that never comes. So if we can give someone and ourselves the gift of acknowledging what we've done and truly apologizing for it, it's powerful. So how do we apologize? How do we even get to that point? How do we allow ourselves to fully see the things that we've done wrong, the mistakes that we've made? I think it starts with, obviously, radical honesty, but also getting into a state where you say to yourself, I love you no matter what. I'm going to be with you no matter what. I'm never going to abandon you. Because I think, when we apologize, I was just talking about this with a friend. I saw this meme that says, the Divine Mother never says, I forgive you. The Divine Mother says, I'm still here. And if we really think about it, I think that's what we really want. I think, one, yes, we're afraid to admit to another human that we are flawed, that we've messed up, to take accountability, to see their face, to see the pain that we caused them on their face, to really be confronted with the depth or the reality of what we've done. But then also we're afraid that maybe they're going to forgive us, maybe they won't, but maybe they're going to leave us. We're afraid of being abandoned. And what could feel more safe and more, just safe than to have someone say, I'm still with you. I'm still here. At least for me, that feels like the most powerful thing. So before I can begin to apologize to someone else, or at least for me to go into it in the most secure way so that I have no expectations on what I need them to say in order for me to feel good, which is selfish, but I need to fully accept myself. I need to say to myself, I am never going to leave you. I'm never going to abandon you. I got you. I got you. And I know I've mentioned it before, but talking to myself in this kind of like two-person thing is really helpful, because there is the part of me that is totally human, that is scared. And then there's this other part of me that sees the bigger picture, that is what I feel like connected to the divine and to God all the time. And it's like my soul, and it is never going to abandon me because it is me, And so if I can use that part of me to talk to this scared part, to talk to the part that, was the one that did the wrong, because my soul never makes mistakes. At least that's how it feels, you know? So if I can talk to this part and be like, it's okay, honey, like, I got you. I'm never going to leave you. No matter what happens, now we know better and we can do better. But let's live into the integrity that we wish to see in the world and to actually have respect for ourselves and apologize. So first step in apologizing for me, acknowledging it. Then comforting myself and it's like, okay, no matter what scary thing is in this closet, we can face it because I'm going to be with you. I'm never going to leave you. And then saying it out loud to someone else. Saying it to a trusted friend. You don't have to necessarily go right to the person and apologize, which that would be great, but maybe you need an intermediary step. Maybe you need to talk to a therapist. Maybe you need to talk to a good friend, or maybe you have a parent who's unconditionally loving, who you can say, oh, I did this thing. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so scared. And whatever, I need to apologize. Just saying it out loud, admitting it to another human aside from yourself that you did something that you're ashamed of is so freeing. It's scary, but it's so freeing. And I recommend it. That's something that's helped me. There was a point last year in particular where I was going through unpacking the closet of things that I had done that I was so embarrassed by. And you're going to continue to do it throughout your life. At least I know I am. And I called up a friend and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm an asshole. I think I might actually be like an asshole. How did I do these things? What was I thinking? I'm so ashamed. I'm so embarrassed. Like maybe I'm the problem, which we all are at times, if we're being honest. And the way that she responded, oh, it felt so good. It felt so good, especially when you have the friend that's like, yeah, that move was kind of asshole-ish. Sorry if you have kids around right now and I'm saying that word. Maybe I should bleep it out. Anyways, she was like, yeah, that was kind of like not the best move, but I get it and you're human. So like, don't worry about it. Now you know, and you won't do it again. And, go apologize. Let me know how it goes once you apologize. That was the greatest thing. And then I went and apologized. And, the way that apologies go, sometimes they don't get the answer that you want. Sometimes the person will respond by saying, oh my gosh, I don't even know what you're talking about. That didn't even faze me. Didn't even notice that. And you're like, oh, thank God. But then you realize I've been carrying around this weight of this thing that I did for no reason. Oh my gosh, I'm going to apologize so much faster. Let me just call that thing out that I'm embarrassed by right away so I don't have to hold on to it for so long. Other times, people are going to accept your apology and be like, yeah, man, that was hurtful. That really hurt. And in those moments, it's so important that you, because you're genuinely apologizing, don't get defensive. You allow them to say exactly how much it hurt them. And you take it on, you receive it. And at the same time, you're here acknowledging that it's okay. Like, I still got me. This was the right thing to do, to take ownership of what I'd done and to allow this person to fully express the hurt that I caused, And maybe after that, maybe they say thank you. Maybe that was the apology that they were waiting for, that they needed. And other times, people may not accept your apology at all. Maybe they acknowledge it and say, yeah, that was pretty messed up, but, I don't really need you in my life anymore, whatever it is. And we have to be ready for that. And that's why I think the first step in apologizing is really making sure that we got our own back. Like, we tell ourselves, we're never going to abandon you. Because in those times when people maybe accept an apology or maybe they don't, but they don't really want you in their life anymore, whoo, yikes, that sucks. Big time. Big time. And maybe that's what it needed to happen for whatever reason. And so you got to make sure that you can withstand it. And if there are those times where someone doesn't accept your apology or they don't want to be in your life, or maybe they don't even respond to the text or the voicemail or whatever it is as you try to apologize, you got to have your own back. You got to be with yourself and say, you know what? We all make mistakes. It's okay. I know that I'm going to do better. And no one has to accept your apology. That's the truth. They don't have to. But what matters is that you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I am a person of integrity and honesty, and I respect myself. And I don't have a lot of stuff hiding in the closet that's going to prevent me from living the life that I want to live, because we need that integrity within us to be able to move through the world without this hidden shame and weight that creeps up on us. And maybe we don't always know, what's that from? Maybe you got stuff hiding in the closet that needs to come out. This type of radical self-honesty gives us the ability to actually claim authorship over our life, so that there aren't these old stories or beliefs about ourselves and shame that controls our behavior or that prevents us from doing something. Because, like when you have a secret that's hidden, it's toxic. It's something that you're always afraid that someone's going to find out about you. Like, oh my gosh, someone's going to find out that I'm a jerk, or someone's going to find out that I did this. So if we can free ourselves from that, if we can make amends, if we can apologize, we can actually take back authority of our own life. And that's so powerful. Radical self-accountability allows us to have clarity. You start to see what's actually yours to hold and what you can let go of. And when we stop lying to ourselves or we stop hiding things, it gives us this acceleration. It gives us the ability to move forward without these things weighing us down. And in these moments of self-accountability, of apologizing, making amends, things may fall away from our life that needed to. Maybe we stop holding on to things that we were too scared to let go of, because if we let go of them, then we'd have to admit that we did something wrong or that we made the wrong step. But letting go is so freeing. It's so good. And self-accountability, I want to make sure I get this across. It's not self-blame. It's not self-punishment. This is actually the process of self-liberation. It's not punishing yourself. It's not disciplining yourself. It's not being that parent who knocks their finger at you like, you did something wrong, I'm so disappointed. No, it is, I'm proud of you for taking accountability. I'm proud of you for looking at yourself honestly. I'm proud of you for living in integrity. That is so good. And always reassuring ourselves, I am never going to leave you. No matter what, I got your back. And now I want to look at how do we forgive? Are we quick to forgive? Do we hold on to things? Do we wait for an apology to forgive? Do we hold on to resentments? Because holding on to resentments is, that saying that's like hating something is like drinking poison and wishing that the other person dies. It's the same thing with resentment. There will be times when people have done us wrong where they are never going to acknowledge it. They're never going to apologize for it. And what are we going to do then? Are we going to hold on to it? Or can we let go of it still? Maybe we have another closet of all the stuff that we blame other people for. Oh, it's because of them that this, or they never apologize for this. And anytime you hear their name or see their face, you get the little bitterness, angry, pissy face. Why? Can we let it go? There are so many times when we're never going to receive what we wish we could receive from other people. Can we give that to ourselves? What's the point of holding on to it? And yes, there is definitely a process of, acknowledging the things that other people have done to you that have hurt, that have maybe shaped you into who you are right now. And that's a process that can take time to really fully acknowledge, especially once you start diving in and you uncovering these things. It's like, oh my gosh, that's why I do that. Why didn't they do it differently? Why didn't they love me this way? Whatever. Are you going to wait for that apology forever? Maybe it won't come. And in the meantime, maybe it will come. But in the meantime, do you really want to keep holding on to that resentment? Why? Do you want to prove that you're still hurt? Is there some power in being hurt by that other person? Do you feel some sort of power? Does it give you some sort of excuse? Maybe. When we have expectations of how we think someone should react, should behave, even in the act of our own apologizing, if we believe that someone should just accept our apology and not let us know how it hurt them, and they do something different, then we start to get frustrated, or we build up these walls of defensiveness, or we have resentment against them because they didn't do something the way that we wanted them to do it. They didn't say what we wanted them to say. Why are we doing that? We're just building up tension within us. Can we soften? Can we be responsible for our own healing? Yes, receiving that apology or acknowledgement from someone else is so powerful and would be so healing. And are you really going to wait for them to do that? And forgiving them doesn't mean forgetting. This doesn't mean, in a toxic relationship, whether it's with a parent or a partner or a friend, It doesn't mean that you just forget and let them keep treating you that way and you keep going back, I forgive you, keep treating you that way, I forgive you. Like, no. It's having the self-respect to not allow that person to affect you anymore and leaving that situation or not engaging in that way. And if we can forgive someone, whether they apologize or not, and it's not like they didn't apologize and you go up to them and say, I forgive you. No, because that's a little bit like, I'm better than you, But if we can, inside of ourselves, forgive them, and something that I've done in the past, because there were people that I needed to forgive that I never wanted to see again, honestly, is I close my eyes and I imagine myself sitting over here, and I imagine them sitting here. Maybe we're sitting crisscross in front of a fire. Maybe we're doing something. Maybe we're just standing there looking at each other. And I talk to them and I'd say, like, this hurt me. This affected me in this way. And it makes me so sad that whatever this happened, but I am releasing this. I am letting this go. I forgive you. There have been moments where I've done that, and also sometimes where I've apologized to people in that way because I don't have their phone number anymore. I don't know where they are in the world. And so I would apologize in that way. And if you can do it in person, obviously that's the best way to do it. But with the asking for an apology, but sometimes with the forgiving, that's the best way to do it, at least for me. And then really let it go. Because forgiveness, forgiving others, also liberates ourselves. It lifts that weight of this energetic and emotional bondage that we had around that person. Let's let go of it. Forgiveness also provides energetic closure. It releases something in our nervous system like, oh, I no longer have to carry that. And it allows us to return to the present moment, to not be sucked into the past whenever something triggers memory of that event or that person. Don't you want to be free of that? Don't you want to stop blaming other people and let go? And I know that it's a process and maybe it's not going to happen right away, but you can do it. And forgiveness also forgiving other people allows us the space to grow. Forgiving allows you to release something, and then there's this beautiful open space inside of you. And there's something new that gets to fill that. Something new. There's this practice that's called energy cord cutting, where maybe you feel a really intense bond to someone or to something. And this is, again, kind of a visualization meditation. And all you got to do, I've done this with people in my life where I felt like, oh my gosh, I just can't let go of them. Like, what is going on? Or I can't let go of the situation or that thing I just feel really attached to, whatever. So you close your eyes, you imagine yourself and that other person or that other thing, and use your imagination. You see a cord going from you to them. Okay? And maybe there's two. Like sometimes you'll see that it's just a really mental cord or a mental connection. So you have this like thing, it could even be like, sounds gross, but like a membrane thing that connects you to them. Maybe it's in your mind, so it's coming from your head. Maybe it's really in your gut, and so it's coming from your gut. Maybe it's in your heart. Maybe it's, any of these places. So see that from you to them. And then you can do a couple different things. Some people like to imagine you, first of all, say, I end this contract. I end this, whatever this is, this attachment that we have between us. And I release myself and you from it. And then you either imagine a pair of scissors and you cut them, or what I like to do is I send fire down it. Sometimes I'll imagine that I'm pulling the cord out, and you'll feel like how it's interesting, because if it's a really deep connection, sometimes I've noticed that when I pull the cord out, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much inside of me, and you could feel like these tendrils inside of your body. My imagination is vivid. Maybe yours is too. So it makes it even more fun. You pull it out, and then once it gets towards the end, then I light it on fire. And I imagine the fire, one, going into me and getting the rest of the tendrils so that it dissolves. And I also see the fire going down the cord and to them. And it's not a fire that burns and hurts and doesn't destroy them. It just severs this energetic cord. Sometimes this visualization can just be helpful in the process, especially if it's an apology that you're never going to get. And you may have to do it multiple times. Every time you feel that connection, just continue to cut that cord. And it's not out of anger. It's out of liberation, setting yourself free from this. Forgiveness is a powerful thing. And throughout this life, we're going to continue to do it. over and over and over again. And the more that you do it, ask for forgiveness or give forgiveness, the easier that it is. And we'll find, at least I have, that once I got rid of like the biggest things that I needed to ask apologies for, now I ask for apologies like it's nothing. I mean, it is something because it's powerful and it's meaningful, but now I don't have all this shame in my closet. Like, am I a bad person? Because I think it was that question of, am I a bad person, that prevented me from apologizing because I couldn't admit to myself. And then once I finally did and I asked for forgiveness, now as soon as I notice myself doing something, as soon as something comes out of my mouth that's like, oh, that came out wrong or that was weird, I say it right away. And that has been a beautiful shift in my life. So how's forgiveness for you? How's apologizing for you? I know it can be pretty scary. Are you quick to forgive? Are you quick to apologize? Do you get defensive when you apologize? What does it look like for you? Are there cords that you need to cut? Are there people that you need to forgive that you're never going to get an apology from? Because maybe they're simply not conscious of it. Or maybe they can never admit it to themselves. Maybe they still feel like they're right in what they did. Can you free yourself of that? Can you give yourself what you need? Can you let yourself know that, one, yeah, maybe you need to forgive yourself for the things that you've done, to release that shame and guilt, that you love yourself. But most importantly, and the phrase that captures all of it is, I'm still here and I'm never going to leave. That ultimate safety, that unconditional love that we all want and maybe we've never really experienced, if we're being honest. Can we give it to ourselves? So let me know your thoughts. Love to have chats in the comments. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a gorgeous day like this one. And I'll see you on the next one.